on between these two outstanding domestic teams in Jamaican football. Hot and sunny conditions here at the Stadium East Field, and the players, certainly for the opening 3 o'clock fixture, will have a difficult time. 28 degrees Celsius and 14 kilometers per hour. The wind reading at the moment as we get ready for this clash between two teams that have been pretty solid over the years. This weekend in match week 10, Chapelton against Humberland. Getting ready to see Portmore against Cavalier here. Dunbeholden taking on Arnett Gardens in the second match of the Stadium East doubleheader. Malines Harbourview, then we have Falkland against Montego Bay United, Mount Pleasant Beer United, and Waterhouse against Tivoli Gardens, completing match week 10. Present standings in the Jamaica Premier League: Mount Pleasant on top of the table by a single point on 20 over Cavalier. Just behind them on 19, a further 2 points adrift in third spot. We've got Arnett Gardens. Harbourview, the reigning champions, on 15 points, and followed by Portmore and Humberland. Those are the teams occupying the playoff spots at the moment. Veer United and Falkland, two teams without a win so far this season, at the bottom of the table. So as we get ready for the clash here, Chris Pearson spoke with Romar Beckford. He's a manager of the Portmore team. Not fully satisfied, but thankful for the season so far.
Romar, you managing this Portmore outfit, 5 clean sheets in the last 6 matches. So far, the only undefeated team in the Jamaica Premier League so far. Is that statistic good enough for Portmore?
Well, to be honest, it's not really good enough because we do expect better from the boys. But however, though, we do appreciate their effort because it's better to not lose than to draw or win. So
it's been a struggle up front so far for the team. Is it that the mindset is not in the right place from your perspective as a manager?
Well, it's not so much the mindset. It's more like our strikers have been plagued with injuries over the last few seasons, and so we have to be changing tactics and adjusting. And so some of our midfielders have been playing forward and they've been trying their best, but our backline is far better, as you can see, but I feel like we'll get the goal today.
Portmore, the most successful team in the Premier League history. From your perspective as a manager for this team, how difficult a job do you have to get these boys motivated for that kind of atmosphere and to repeat some of the glory days?
Well, it's very, very difficult. It's like every single day you have to wake up and tell them that, hey, we have to get these boys pumped up and ready for the game. And not only them, but everybody is relying on everything consistent with Portmore. So the sponsors, for example, we have some good sponsors. We have Mail Pack, we have Jambisco, everyone. And so they have been helping us to push our team forward and build up the guys for this, because, you know, we have a good nutrition program. We just have a good resource team overall. So it's a lot of work, but I feel like we're good.
Player to watch for Portmore this afternoon, Emilio Rosso, who wears the captain's armband this afternoon. Siegel Knight, who captained the team last week, is out on an injury, well, on the roster, but not on the starting roster. Rosso, 2 goals so far this season, and the fact that he's the leading scorer for Portmore from a left fullback position, Chris, tells you that Portmore are having some offensive issues.
Yeah, love to see him really come to the fore. Done so much at the schoolboy level, really promising, and we need to see him get more ignited in terms of going forward, those overlapping runs and aiding in the attack if Portmore are going to score more than the 7 goals they have this season.
Yeah, so Emilio Rosso, 23 years old now, and getting ready for what he hopes to be a big afternoon today against Cavalier. Cavalier's technical director Rudolph Speed comes in here with huge respect for the 7-time champions despite their generally unthreatening offense.
Rudolph, Cavalier sitting second in the table. Last week, a hard-fought victory against Humberland, a team that has given you a lot of problems. Is this the kind of victory that needs to happen consistently for persons to really take Cavalier seriously and not necessarily think of them as a one-hit wonder?
Well, we'll keep things in perspective. This is also another team that gives us a lot of problems over the years. They have a better win-loss record. And we also kept in perspective that they are so hard to break down and score on. So it's something that we are very aware of, and we made some adjustments and hope that we can unlock that defense this season.
Last season at this very same point, you had already lost 4 games in the season. It was a bit of an up and down one. This season, just 2 losses, sitting second in the table. What has been the difference this year, you think, when you assess the 9 games thus far?
Funny enough, I'm not so sure, but this season, today is the first day we have 20 players because we have had a small squad working with. The last match we didn't even make a change. The match before we made 1. So I think, the players recognize the fact that we have to fight, and they are fighting much harder this time. They didn't have a lot of people to fight with, so they just fight with what we had here.
And you spoke about the fact that Portmore obviously has a better win-loss record. The only undefeated team left in the Premier League. What needs to happen today for you to change that statistic and inflict some pain, I guess, on Portmore?
Right, so we expect them to be, tight as usual at the back. We expect them also, they've not been scoring a lot of goals, so interesting. So we'll maybe be able to take some more chances today.
No question about the player to watch for Cavalier this afternoon, Colin Anderson, the 23-year-old, big, strong young man, 8 goals on the season. Only Trevante Stewart from Mount Pleasant has scored more than he has. Was a part of a promising sprint group from Calabar High School in his late teens, the likes of Tyreek Wilson and DeJour Russell, national representatives. He was in that batch, but he has gone football-wise and he's doing well.
Yeah, and he's growing and learning as well, Rudolph Speed. Very proud of his development. And as you said, has added a lot of other things other than pace in terms of his body positioning, how he can finish as well. And playing with a smile on his face, so it just shows his confidence and his relaxed nature up front. I think that's why he's been rewarded with, 15 goals in 1.5 seasons.
Yeah, very, very powerful young man. All of Cavalier's last 5 goals have been scored by him. Let's see if he adds to his 8 goals this evening. Young Colin Anderson. We go to break. When we come back, the starting teams and more in the build-up for Cavalier taking on Portmore in the Jamaica Premier League.
We've been taught that to be the best, you gotta train like the best. You gotta go where the best goes. You gotta play the best. For the best moments are found here. For the fight, for the heart, for each other, for the game. The WTA on your home of champions.
The best young talents European teams have to offer go head-to-head on the biggest stage. Watch the UEFA Youth League all season long on your home of champions.
It's with an absolute beauty. And that's curled home beautifully.
Catch the EFL Sky Bet Championship all season long on the home of champions.
Fear you're missing out? Don't miss another event with SportsMax. Enjoy full live content on our YouTube channel. Keep up to date with all things sports. Rewatch highlights of your favorite zone moments. Join our community and share in the passion of sports viewers everywhere. Like, comment, share, and subscribe to the SportsMax YouTube channel today. You're watching the Jamaica Premier League on your home of champions.
Bright and sunny conditions at the Stadium East Field as we get ready for the start of match week 10 in the Jamaica Premier League. Seven-time champions Portmore United. No team has won more Premier League titles in Jamaica than they have. And they're up against Cavalier, who are two-time champions of the Premier League. Epic battles between these two teams in the past. At the moment, Portmore head-to-head against the Cavalier team, a little bit better in their last 5 meetings. An unstoppable force against the immovable object, a phrase we use in sport when a potent offensive team tackles defensively solid teams. And today is a classic example. Unstoppable force, Cavalier, 10 goals in their last 4 games against the immovable object Portmore, who have given up only 3 goals in all 9 of their games. By far the best defensive team in the league at the moment. Alexi Perry is the man with a whistle this afternoon, and the two teams are getting ready here for battle. A close look at the head-to-head between those that we just show you to had just shown you to extend that a bit. 11 last meetings between these two teams since Cavalier came back from relegation. We've had 5 Portmore wins, 2 Cavalier wins, and 4 drawn results. So you heard Rudolph Speed, the technical director of the Cavalier team, alluding to the fact that even though Cavalier at the moment are a more powerful force in Jamaica Premier League football, he does have a lot of respect for this Portmore team, who have given them a lot of trouble over the past 4 or 5 seasons.
Yeah, certainly so. And as I said, this is one of the fixtures that Portmore have enjoyed, even though their dismal season last year still managed to come away with 4 points.
Alexi Perry in charge here with Jassett, Carr Wilson and Ricardo McKenzie, his assistants, and the 2 captains, Emilio Rousseau and Kyle Ming, in mid-pitch.
Yeah, Emilio Rousseau employing that left back. But yeah, Kyle Ming are part of a back 3 that have really done so well over the last couple of seasons. Very young back line. And yeah, here's the Portmore team, Lance.
Yeah, the Portmore lineup here, a pretty solid one coming in, but with a lot of changes. Haitis Bernard constant in goal, one of 3 non-Jamaicans in the Portmore lineup here. And because of a lot of injuries, as many as 6 changes to the side that played last week in the 0-0 draw against Tivoli, and forcing those changes, Mullings and James in, plus also coming in Jaheen Rose, Flemings, the Haitian Sandino St. John, and St. Lucian Lester Joseph.
Yeah, 4-5-1 is what they played. Javon James making the transfer from Waterhouse. Comes in, a man who scored 2 goals last season. But yeah, defensively solid, but you just wonder with so many changes how the chemistry will be going into the attack line of things, attacking third.
Yeah, and the Cavalier just 1 change from their starting roster that beat Humberland last weekend. Orlando Russell out, and in for his seasonal debut in the Jamaica Premier League, Shanil Thomas in the number 17 shirt. And for the most part, a familiar looking starting roster for Cavalier. St. Lucian, 23-year-old Vino Bartlett, first choice keeper today. The regular backline, Irving, Ming, Leng, King, and always a teenage presence, this time in the form of Ainsworth.
Shanil Thomas was away in the USA for quite a while, so coming back in, used to playing for Cavalier obviously last season and so on. Still looking to get more amongst the goals, the former JC standout. But yeah, this has been the starting 11 that has really gotten things done for Rudolph Speed so far this season, and lots of potency up front. Colin Anderson and, as you said, Dwayne Atkinson. And yeah, each game they look even more and more exciting. Multiple goal games for Cavalier, and yeah, still ever solid at the back.
Yeah, so we're about to see the kickoff here, and Cavalier trying to change their fortunes against a Portmore team that has given them a lot of trouble in recent years. In the 2 meetings with Portmore last season, Cavalier went winless and failed to score against the 7-time champions. In fact, Portmore have just lost once in their last 6 meetings with Cavalier, who have just 1 goal in their last 4 clashes with Portmore. Interesting statistic there for a team, Cavalier, who is a pretty prolific at goal scoring. Portmore with the ball early, deep inside their own half. Their captain Rousseau, long floating ball forward. Not too threatening. Bartlett right in behind that one. There's the St. Lucian 23-year-old. Swaps places with Jadine White with goal scoring duties for this Cavalier team. Richard King, only 21 years old, but has forced his way into the national setup. Did have a couple of outings in the World Cup qualifiers last year. There's Dwayne Atkinson, 5 goals on the season so far, a player that is really developing into a potent force here in Jamaica Premier League football. Career best 8 goals last season, Dwayne Atkinson. And I've always had a lot of time for this young man, Chris. I think he has a lot of potential to be a very, very prolific scorer, not only at the Jamaica Premier League level, but if he gets an opportunity internationally, I think he has the scope to get there.
And do you remember when he went away with the Cavalier team last season? That's actually what propelled his season along, was actually the MVP in the tournament overseas, the Caribbean
CFU Club Championship.
Yeah, Club Championship, and really played well and had gone there with just 1 goal, played so well. When he came back, finished the season with 8, as you said, so 7 goals towards the back end, and he's continued from there. And as I said, just 20 years of age and already playing in his 4th season. So, and we did say, Lance, a couple of weeks ago that these players coming out of high school, it does take them a while before they can get to that stage of dominance. Trayvon Reed, another player that we spoke about, in terms of it's taking them a few years, even though they're still very young.
That's right.
They do need to play on at this level for a while.
Irving goes long here, and Austin, towering figure at central defence for Portmore, gets rid of that one.
In fact, that game you spoke about where Cavalier, the last time Cavalier won, was actually in the season where they lifted the trophy in 2021, and it was Dwayne Atkinson, a first half goal, that was a winner in that match.
Yeah, Thomas being welcomed back to Premier League football by his opposing number 17, Rodolph Austin, takes him out. The 37-year-old just puts the brake on the much younger former JC standout.
Playing a bit deeper, used to playing in that centre forward role, but he hasn't been amongst the goals for Cavalier over his last couple seasons, and he's asked to play the attacking midfield role today.
So here's Cavalier with the free kick. Irving with a strike. Oh, just goes wide. Went for the far post, didn't he? And just caught the attention there of Constant in goal for Portmore. That one may have been a foot and a half wide, or 2.
Should have been simple for Constant, but made me wonder if he was sure where his right upright was. Didn't need a dive, and in fact was late.
Yeah. There's Irving with a left-footed strike on goal. So 3 minutes in, quiet start to this fixture. Cavalier looking as a more offensively minded team, which is pretty much what we expected, because there's this huge difference between how the two teams play at the moment. And I said at the top of the show, the unstoppable force against the immovable object.
Yeah, and you're talking about 19 goals on their season so far, Cavalier. So really doing good things without speed. This was a time last year where they were very inconsistent, I thought, in terms of their goal scoring, but so many multiple goal games this year. That's been something that they've always been stubborn at the back, but this is a part of their game. They're a lot more fluent going forward. Last year, the strikers in the early part of the season were struggling, all. Yeah. Atkinson only had 1, I think Colin Anderson had 2 in the early part, and Webster was out of it totally. But yeah, this season, firing now on all cylinders. Well, apart from Webster, he only has 1, but yeah.
Strong midfield tosser here from out of the centre circle. Portmore taking care of things quite easily in the end.
And once Portmore are able to keep things narrow, I think that will suit them, especially with the likes of Austin in the thick of things, who doesn't have the pace that he might have. Well, I'm not sure he was ever the fastest, but he's lost even a couple of yards now. So I think it would suit Cavalier to play a wide game where they use their speedy wingers to pull the Portmore defence out of position.
Atkinson. Anderson doesn't quite get the shot off. Good work there by Steve Young, who is tripped in the end, but Young may have a very, very busy afternoon here because of the potency of this Cavalier team. And here he does good work here.
And this is a part of the game that has improved for Anderson, his game awareness, especially in the box, knowing where the defenders are, when he can turn, when he can play with his back to goal. And yeah, it was good closing down by Young, but I love how he opened up his body. Anderson. I mean, it does come with confidence as well, but you can tell that the understanding of his position is better.
Yeah, there's Philip Williams, the Portmore coach, took over in mid-May of last season from Lenny Hyde. And here's Portmore with an opportunity. And saved in the end. What a sloppy looking backline there for Cavalier, very much unlike them. And that certainly was a great opportunity. Javon James, first game out for the Portmore team, coming across from Waterhouse. Actually scored for Waterhouse against Portmore in the 4-0 victory they had last season, and he has an opportunity now to score.
And that was one of the criticisms of James, that he gets a lot of, does work hard, but gets a lot of opportunities and doesn't convert. That was another example.
Oh, he should have put that one away for sure. Bending corner from Rousseau, gets a second bite at the cherry here. Good strong header out by King. Portmore trying to keep the pressure on. James. Oh, the cross is threatening. The header on goal. An appeal for, I think they've won a corner here, Portmore, and I think they have. There was an appeal there for a handball as well.
Yeah, and I think the second assistant is just saying to Alexi Perry that it came off the chest and not the arm. Did look to his assistant, Perry. Yes. Yeah, this was a good ball into the box. I mean, that pass was nice from James. But then look at the delivery, the trajectory of it, excellent towards the back post. And forcing the Cavalier defenders to have to turn.
Rousseau's bending corner again, looking threatening, but Bartlett has the easy take. No one close to the goalkeeper, and he had an easy job there. Ming wants Anderson to go sprinting forward because he knows he has the pace. James putting a lot of pressure on Ming, fouling him. In fact, referee Perry awards a free kick to Cavalier midway the half down the right flank. Cavalier Irving coming across to take it, and the Cavalier men filling up the box are trying to get as much presence in the box as possible.
That might be too deep.
Badly overhit by Irving.
The last one was under hit. And yeah, just went wide of the upright. This one just too much pace, overcompensating Cadell Irving.
Yeah, there's Rudolph Speed, technical director for this Cavalier team. Won them the trophy back in 2021, breaking a 40-year drought for Cavalier as Premier League champions. And pretty steady, this Cavalier team in recent years. Speed has done a good job with them for sure.
Yeah, and 19 goals so early in the season is something you wouldn't have seen before, so that's an improvement on the squad.
Long pressure on the Cavalier defense early in this piece.
Not as windy.
Trying to press forward there.
Not as windy as we're used to seeing here, even though there's a slight breeze. It's very hot. You can see the players struggling with the glare, a lot of the defenders squinting a lot, so it'll be interesting to see. And this end always a more difficult one to defend based on the trajectory of the wind.
Header out there by Webster, left-footed strike on goal, but yeah, late challenge as well from Chanel Thomas, and a free kick here being awarded to Portmore.
Or is it a corner? I think it's a corner, you know, Lance. Yeah, it took a deflection with the volley.
Yeah, so there's Rousseau going across to take the corner. Portmore forcing 3 corners here after just 9.5 going 10 minutes in the piece. So Cavaliers defense having a lot of work to do on early set plays. To the near post it goes.
That would be another one. That corner needed to be better from Rousseau, though way too shallow, not beating the first defender. Such a talented left foot, Rousseau, but I found in his Premier League career, he's been riddled with inconsistency.
Here comes Rousseau. Yeah, gets a lot more belly into this one. Oh, the header is just over the top. It was Young there, got the header on.
And when he gets it right, it's generally very good. As you could see there, an opportunity. And Young pretty good in the air.
Yeah, did really well there, but under some pressure as well. So he didn't get an unmolested header on goal. A huge part of Portmore's solid defense statistics. Stephen Young, took MVP honours in early season matches against Vere and Mount Pleasant, both games there ending 0-0, and complements the more experienced Rudolph Austin, who doesn't have his pace, but his ability to read the game, the 37-year-old Austin, and his vast experience complementing the younger Young.
Yeah. Well, you've seen that in some of the bigger leagues around the world as well, where older centre-backs still find an opportunity there, and then they lead from there. So he would be telling Young when to go, where to stay, keeping the line. And Young obviously a lot more aggressive in his play.
Portmore having some difficulty getting this one out of their area. Javon James, his pass there a bit short. First outing for Portmore in the January transfer window, coming from Waterhouse. Webster. Russo blocks his effort. Atkins puts this one down, but his first touch is not good enough. James. James not finding his legs just yet with his new teammates. Didn't get a lot of playing time for Waterhouse last season, Javon James. And as you mentioned earlier on, Chris had an opportunity to score more goals than he actually did.
He only finished the season with 2 lands.
Yeah, and he had a lot of opportunities.
Yeah, does work very hard, as you said, puts in the runs, gives you those diagonal runs. But I just think when he gets into the box, he panics a lot. And instead of a well-constructed finish where he thinks about it, it tends to be rushed. And a lot of times it's just a wild swing and he scuffs it badly. So that's what happened in his opportunity about 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
So that's something that Philip Williams will hope he can develop in his game.
Yeah, again, we saw Young there being brought into action, and we did project a busy afternoon from him at central defence today, Stephen Young, because of the
pace,
agility and pace of the Cavalier front men. This man Atkinson among them. Swirling corner to the near post. So is getting there, but is pushed over and didn't like the challenge on him.
Ainsworth there getting carried away. A silly challenge, and you could hear the squeal by him too with his frustration. Ainsworth tackle from behind.
After Mount Pleasant's 3-2 loss to Arnett Garns in match week 9, Portmore currently the only undefeated team in the Jamaica Premier League. And there's their kick out from goalkeeper Constant.
That was a nice take as well. Lovely control from Lester Joseph.
Yeah. 3 non-Jamaicans in the starting roster for Portmore. Constant in goal from Haiti. Fellow Haitian Sandino St. Jean, and Lester Joseph from St. Lucia.
His 2 St. Lucian teammates out injured, Jevick McFarlane
and Alvin Osmyers.
Alvin Osmyers, yeah. Alvin Osmyers played 2 games ago, but Jevick McFarlane, after his goal against Falkland some weeks ago, he hasn't played since. And he has 2 goals. He's actually the joint leading goal scorer, Jevick McFarlane, for Portmore. Ankle injury he's out with.
Atkinson with a strike. Yeah, he got a knock there, but was willing to feel the pressure of the knock and still go through with a strike.
Yeah, nice link-up play with Ainsworth. There he took the blow.
Yeah, but then he saw the opportunity at goal, so he went for that and worried about the pain after.
St. Jean coming in with the tackle there. But yeah, this is the kind of position that Dwayne Atkinson enjoys, cutting in on the right, and Portmore should be well aware of that. You don't want to give him space in that region. Did score one of the goals of the tournament at Sabina Park in the playoffs last season. A rocket from just outside the 18.
53% ball possession for Cavalier at the moment, which isn't surprising given the run of play that we've seen. Yeah, Thomas being taken care of there. Corner given up here by Portmore. Their first corner conceded for the match. That's Jaheem Rose just putting enough pressure on there. Second corner, in fact, for Portmore. Is that Austin? Is it might be going across to take it? No, it isn't. Ainsworth it was. Portmore now on the counter. King gets in the way. St. John. Joseph. Roseau. St. John gets away from Atkinson, but Atkinson puts the chase on, knocks him over. Questioning the referee's call, Atkinson.
A bit silly from Atkinson though, because St. John, it was obvious that he had nowhere to go. Look at it here. He bought that challenge as well. Look at him just come inside of the ball to draw the challenge, almost like a basketball play. And Atkinson fell for it, bailed him out. As I said, Portmore inching yards up the pitch.
Yeah. Rosso with a free kick for Portmore. Again to the near post. Squeezes by almost everyone. Still a chance here, but Bartlett makes the diving save to the left side of the post in the end. History between these two teams, not particularly high scoring, so the fact that we've gone 17 minutes and not seen any goals yet is, I guess, par for the course for Cavalier against Portmore.
Actually, 2019, the last time we saw more than one goal in the fixture.
Wow.
And that was a 2-1 win to Portmore, the 12th of December.
Jaheen Rose going for that one, but Kyle Ming getting in the way. Ming wearing the captain's armband for this Cavalier team, led the Cavalier team to the Premier League title back in 2021 as a 21-year-old. Former Bridgeport Manning Cup captain 2017, Kyle Ming. Anderson confronted here by Austin. No surprise who wins the foot battle. Anderson crashes towards goal, but the Portmore defense stands firm. Yeah, it's one of the battles we're anticipating this afternoon. Chris Colin Anderson with his extreme pace against Austin, who is a lot slower but very, very intelligent.
Yeah,
so
both
the battle
physical.
but the battle between these two will be a spectacle this afternoon. As you said, both men strong, physically, and difference though in pace, because this man is 14 years younger and probably 14 seconds faster.
I was also about to say that this is not one of the players. Austin generally very aggressive in his play and sometimes bullies his opponent, especially in the attackers.
Yeah.
But this won't be that kind of matchup because Anderson has the size and certainly the aggression to match that. So he will have to use his experience, Austin. That's definitely where he wins in terms of the matchup.
Yeah. And the other story about today's fixture is the one I spoke of at the top, the unstoppable force against the immovable object, the outstanding attacking team against the outstanding defensive team. Which one will prevail this evening? Here's Anderson putting the chase on, but a little bit too much weight on the pass, and gives Constant in goal for Portmore an easy take.
I think once Cavalier continue to attack through the middle, I think that works in Portmore's favour. I think the organisation of the Portmore defence does better when they keep the play narrow and they close down the channels very well. So they force Cavalier to force a pass like what we just saw.
Yeah.
When they pull wide with the likes of Atkinson and Webster, that is when I think they're more dangerous, because they run at the defenders and pull them slightly out of position. So then Anderson can fall into the gap. And once he gets that one-on-one with Austin, he is going to win that based on speed.
Yeah, which is why I think Young may have a lot of footwork to do this afternoon to cover for Austin when the speedy Cavalier frontmen like Atkinson and Anderson turn on the afterburners.
I know that Anderson has improved his game and his skill as a forward. What it also means is that you can play the ball on him, he can take it, and now he can turn and maneuver his body. He couldn't do that before. Before, you just had to play it in the space and hope that he runs past everybody.
Irving trying to slide that one here through to Atkinson, who is trying to position himself for a left-footed strike, isn't allowed to make that strike. And the Portmore defenders get the ball away in the end. That's Austin over the touchline. Solid offense so far this season. 19 goals in 9 games for Cavalier. Only Mount Pleasant have scored more.
Of course, that was a Gawain variety of the Austin on that right side.
His nephew, isn't it? Rudolph Austin's nephew. Corner kick to Cavalier. They're outnumbered in the box though by the Portmore defense line. And this is why they're so strong defensively, Portmore. They place a lot of emphasis on that form of that aspect of their game, and the ball turned inside, and frantic clearance in the end made. And a corner again won here by the Cavalier team, this time on the other side of the field.
That delivery towards the back post, it looked initially like it was too deep, but still found a Cavalier head. Not sure if it was Chanel Thomas or actually Ainsworth who was at the back post.
Just approaching the halfway point in the first half. Near post attempt. Webster challenging for the ball. Joseph flicks the pass inside. Joseph. St. John under a lot of pressure. Joseph again. St. Lucians and Haitians combining here in the Portmore team. Ball sprayed across there by Jaheen Rose. It's now over the touchline for a throw to Cavalier. Good energetic move down the left side there by the Portmore men.
Yeah, the pass from Jaheen Rose just wasn't good enough though. If central midfielder from Clarendon College a couple seasons ago, number 20, there was a Jaheen and a Jaheem Rose in that Clarendon College team. In fact, at one stage, both were playing for Portmore. We haven't seen Jaheem this season.
No, he hasn't played, I don't think.
Yeah.
Ming to Webster. Akeem Mullings with that challenge in the number 16 shirt for Portmore. His first outing for Portmore, the Portmore number 16, Akeem Mullings, played with Harbourview last season and was one of 2 January transfers in this Portmore setup. The other, that man who just went for the ball, Javon James, coming from Waterhouse. Yeah, I think he's hurt. Yeah, there's Mullings, former Harbourview man, now with the Portmore team.
Yeah, James taking that one in the face in terms of the clearance, but yeah, 2 additions, and I think there will be a lot more as well, especially considering the injuries that Portmore have been suffering. And you probably look at this game, I think from a Philip Williams perspective, you say, well, you're playing the number 2 team, Cavalier, they're high flying at the moment, scoring a lot of goals. I think based on the amount of changes he's made, his tactic is, well, look, we just need to stay solid, and if anything, try and find something on the counter.
Yeah.
But I think due to the amount of injuries he's had, if he comes out with a draw, I think he'll probably take it.
Yeah.
Philip Williams. Of course, you never want to start a game looking for a draw, but
yeah, James there, pretty brave going for that header when the clearance was about to be made. I think it was by Ling, and James, the ball crashing powerfully into his head. Just looked a little unsteady and gets a little check from the medical team, and he'll rejoin the team or the play pretty soon.
Just seen Philip Williams certainly finding his way. I remember when he just came into the schoolboy setup at St. Andrew Technical, he started in the same way, building that solidity from the back line with J.D. White and company. Had a very mean defense, and attack-wise, they weren't very fluent. Now, when you watch St. Andrew Technical, still solid at the back, yes, but very exciting going forward. And Shakwan Satchwell, for example, who we've not seen today because of injury, is an example of that skill that they've had up front. In fact, 3 players from that St. Andrew Technical team making the all-Manning team: Satchwell, Andre Salmon, and Omar Reed.
Yeah.
So you have to believe that now that he's getting a lot more used to the Premier League, Philip Williams, that is his plan as well. Now he's gotten the defensive solidity and organisation at the back, and I'm sure he'll be looking to make that transition now up front.
Yeah.
And do some business as well in the transfer market.
James for Portmore. Satchel, by the way, was initially on the starting roster today, but did pick up a knock in that Old Manning Old Acosta game yesterday, and left the game at half-time, and has a bit of a thigh problem, so he was taken off the starting roster, but he was on the starting roster initially for this fixture. Here's Joseph for Portmore. Rousseau.
3 games he's played so far in the Premier League, Satchel. And he's certainly one for the future. 2-footed player, very exciting, especially in the wide areas.
Rose's pass there cut off.
For the second time.
Yeah. Yeah, good skill there by St. John. Taken down in the end though by Anderson, who tracks all the way back deep to put in some work. I guess his track and field background of working hard physically gives him this energy to be doing extra work on the football field.
Actually ran past his teammate Shanil Thomas. I just wonder about the match fitness of, say, Shanil Thomas, who hasn't played. He was away for a long time, not playing football. So I'm sure he's not as sharp as you would like. But yeah, Anderson very fit at the moment. And it's obviously, even though Anderson was always a big figure, he's done more work. You look at him, you can see the muscle development. Yeah. He's done work in the gym.
Portmore with a threatening free kick from Joseph. James's header. Oh, gone to the crossbar, the ball goes. Oh, that was St. John, I think, with a left-footed flick toward goal, and Vino Bartlett with a one-handed tip onto the crossbar. Best moment of the match so far for Portmore. Joseph. Webster with a good left-footed clearance.
Not sure where Vina Bartlett was going. It was almost caught out of position. Something that... Yeah.
Speedy Atkinson runs towards the 18-yard box now. Atkinson tries to turn, doesn't have the room, and it's Austin that bangs that one off the playing area.
Yeah, and you saw how that looks scrappy inside the 18-yard area for Portmore. Wide, started in that wide area, pulled Austin, I think it was, out of position. This was a chance off the bar. What a save it was by Vino Bartlett, though. He got a strong right hand to it. Or maybe it's unfair to say hand, it was probably more fingers.
Yeah. Yeah, best moment of the match so far for this Portmore team, and they have looked threatening, Portmore. They have done, I would think, just as good offensive work so far since the start of this match as the more vaunted Cavalier attacking lineup.
Yeah, 2 good chances on Jean, and then you remember in the first 10 minutes, Javon James had a chance that he should have probably scored. I think that should have been a goal.
Yeah, it should have been.
One-on-one with the keeper there. And really
he was like 7 yards out, wasn't he?
Yeah, and nobody coming to him, nobody closing him down. He had a lot of time. That one was more creative and acrobatic.
Yeah. Pretty decent Portmore performance so far in this fixture.
I think, as I said, this is what Philip Williams will be looking to achieve. Close down the lines defensively and then wait for your 1 or 2 chances at the other end.
Russell having trouble contending with the speedy Anderson, but he's won himself a goal kick, doing well enough to put Anderson off. Yeah, I would suspect that in the tactical plan ahead of any Cavalier team, the work by the defense line has to be thorough and diligent.
I'm a bit surprised that they haven't had a water break so far. I think it's very hot here. You look at a lot of the players, some of them even look jaded, even though there's still that slight wind. Yeah. It is very hot.
Yeah, it's been customary for them to have water breaks midway each half.
Well, he's brave not to wear a cap. I can't say he has much coverage on top, Philip Williams.
But his job with Portmore so far since taking over has been reasonably solid, boasting easily the season's best defense record. Only 3 goals conceded in 9 games. A remarkable 6 clean sheets in their 9 games. Won't surprise you too to know that they have not conceded more than 1 goal in a game so far this season. In fact, stretching from last season, they have given up 2 goals in a match only once in their last 14 matches, this Portmore team, under Philip Williams.
And as you mentioned, 6 clean sheets overall, but 5 in their last 6 games.
Yeah.
In fact, the only goal conceded was in their 3-1 win. So yeah, that's quite remarkable.
Yeah, they beat Falkland 3-1, and that's where they conceded a goal a couple of weeks ago. Yeah. So I think the health and respect narrative that we got from Rudolph Speed pre-match, the Cavalier technical director, is being borne out here, because looking on, many people would have labelled Cavalier favourites to win this fixture. I mean, we're just 30 minutes in, and we can't say who will win yet. But Portmore are looking stride for stride, comfortable. Bang, that goal, but straight to Bartlett. On the counter, there goes Webster. Joseph putting the pressure on. Ball squirts back here to Kyle Ming. Now King. Leng.
Something about this Cavalier team that looks different this season, though, lads, even though they finished 3rd last year. Just in terms of their confidence when they're playing and how fluid they have looked going forward, just generally in their season. And they've always found a way to find goals. Against a tough Humble Lion last week, conceded first, and they never panicked at any stage, came out of the half into the second half, and then just took the game away from Humble Lion.
Cavalier looking for a go-ahead goal now. Ming trying to get it on the far post, but can't keep it in.
Yeah, surprised that he went with the right foot there. I thought he probably would have headed it back across the area.
Yeah.
Ming, and brought one of his teammates into play. Another deep delivery though from Atkinson. But yeah, this Cavalier team this season, as I said, they just look a lot more fluent, and that's why the results have been more consistent. And when you think about that, this is the 3rd match in a row that the team has had a better head-to-head record than them. Humble Lion had a better head-to-head record, and they booked, I think it was Tivoli before that, who had a better head-to-head record as well.
Yeah.
So the fact that they're winning those games sends a message.
Yeah.
You know, that they're certainly serious. And then in the last game, as I said, conceding first and coming from behind to win. So this is a Cavalier unit that will have their sights on bigger things for sure.
Yeah. I think Cavalier giving up an unnecessary corner there. Proper communication would have allowed Ming to know that Bartlett would have had that comfortably covered, and it was probably going wide anyway, and there wasn't any challenging Portmore player. So he, I think, has given up an unnecessary corner. 12 minutes to the halftime break. Rousseau with a corner for Portmore. Swings it to the near post. I think he was looking there for St. John, didn't find him.
I'm not a fan of that corner. Again, he needs to get that deeper into the area. Again, not beating the first defender. And the corners have been disappointing for both teams.
Yeah. Atkinson wins this. Yeah. Knows that Anderson has the pace to chase them, but there was far too much on that.
There's nothing to chase there.
Yeah. Mullings goes back to Rudolph Austin, who hasn't had a lot of touches on the ball so far in this match. Austin, player with vast experience, played club football in England, Norway, Denmark. Whistle.
Such a long servant for Leeds United.
Yeah, was actually captain briefly of Leeds when they were in the championship, by the way. They weren't playing Premier League football when Austin played. I guess he may still have some affinity for the All Whites and how well they're doing at the moment. Well,
yeah,
that they're in the Premier League.
They're in the Premier League.
Yeah.
And they survived their first season as well, back in the Premier League. So certainly you'll be happy about that. Almost playing back in the day when the two centre halves used to play as used to have a sweeper and then a stopper, you remember?
Yeah.
Lance, he's almost playing that kind of role where he's the orchestrator in the back and then he allows Young to do the dirty work. And they always said that a sweeper should come out with his clothes very clean, and that means he had a good game, because he shouldn't be forced to go into any major tackles. He should just, be cleaning up the scraps and getting out the ball.
Yeah.
But it's been like that so far for him, and I think that would be disappointing from Anderson and the rest of the Cavalier attackers.
Yeah, just saw some good ball handling skills from St. John, the Haitian. Throw to Rousseau. James. Rousseau goes long here. Leng gets the header out, but only as far as to Joseph. Mullings can't beat King to the ball. Big long kick out here. Good clash here between two teams that have been reasonably solid in Jamaica Premier League football. Portmore champions 2 of the last 4 seasons. But they have not done well the last 2 seasons. 8th and 10th in the regular seasons the last 2 years. Shanice Thomas, Cavalier a lot steadier on average. Their report cards on the last 4 seasons: semis 2017, 2018, third 2018, 2019, tournament aborted 2019, 2020 because of COVID, and they were champions 2021 and third last season. So on average, Cavalier have been fairly steady the last 4 or 5 seasons.
Yeah, and if you think about that 2021 season, some would call it a half season. Actually, it was 10 games. It was an abridged season.
Yes.
So we're almost at the stage where they would have been for that entire season. They've played, this is their 10th game. So a good indicator of, as you said, their consistency in terms of performances or where they're at.
Yeah.
I think they look even better than last season.
Yes, I think so too.
Even though they finished 3rd then, but yeah, their play looks a lot more positive. And
Atkinson may go for goal here, does he? Yes, he does, and gives Constant a little bit of trouble, the bouncing ball, but you could see Atkinson, his body language from early. He knew he wanted to strike that one at goal.
Yeah.
So long searching ball forward. King, the header not very good. James tripped by King. Free kick to Portmore, about 23 yards out.
Yeah, this was a touch here. It wasn't a good touch by James at all, taking him away from goal, and he was looking for that foul, but Perry bought it, referee Perry buying it. This was the opportunity for Atkinson. Didn't make good contact.
Oh, I didn't even see there was a deflection from Rudolph Austin, yeah, so King gives up, I think, an unnecessary foul here because James was moving away from goal. His back was turned to goal, so I don't think he needed to foul him here. So
I don't even think there was much on it either, but yeah, James played it well.
Well, let's see if Austin strikes this one. Hasn't scored a Premier League goal, Rudolph Austin, in over 14 years, partly because he hasn't played. Oh, that's a brilliant strike by Rousseau onto the crossbar and off. Cavalier trying to get rid of the ball, but we've said it, Portmore offensively looking the more threatening team here against the team we've labelled the unstoppable force, Cavalier.
And they've hit the crossbar twice.
Yeah. I thought Austin was going to strike it.
I thought it might have been a little bit too close for Austin. You know, he likes those long ranges.
Yeah.
But yeah, Rousseau, we spoke about that talented left foot he has, and there was an example of it. The pace of that alone would have beaten Bartlett.
Yeah.
See it here. Look at the swerve on that, the curl on that. Very lovely, very good kick.
That was an outstanding strike.
Yeah. Unlucky not to score. Probably deserved to score.
Has had quite a few set play goals, free kick goals in the Premier League since he has advanced to this level.
Yeah.
Add to that the number of strikes he had for St. George's College in the Manning Cup as well.
Yeah.
Some beauties.
Consistent penalty taker for Portmore as well. 2 goals on the season, joint leading goal scorer Jevick McFarlane, who is out. But yeah, at the schoolboy level. In fact, he used to score quite a few in open play as well, just overlapping and letting fly with the left foot.
Yeah, so the medical team there paying some attention to not a massive crowd on hand here at the Stadium East Field. It's the home ground of Cavalier, actually. This is where they would have played their home games. And there's Rousseau, who will be ruining the fact that his strike just now wasn't probably 3 inches lower. Yeah. If it was, it would have been Portmore 1, Cavalier 0 in the 41st minute.
Also the home ground this season of Kingston College, which is why you see so many, well, the corner flags, if you see them, they're actually with purple flags on them. So used at the schoolboy arena as well, at the schoolboy level. Yeah, they're the purple flags of KC.
Fortis. Yeah, so Portmore.
Cavalier haven't looked like the home team so far, though, in terms of their dominance.
Yeah, they've lost their number 8, Johnny Flemings, for the moment.
Who's a late addition, eh?
Yeah.
He's a player who actually came in for Satchwell just before the start.
Yeah. So at the moment, Portmore still playing with 10 men. And now, yeah, Flemings re-enters the field, so they're back to their full complement. There's Satchwell. Had an outing in the All Manning All the Costa Cup fixture yesterday. Had a good first half, but then taken out by Coach Williams. Well, Ferguson, Davian Ferguson, the coach of the All Manning team. Well taken on the chest there by Anderson, but he loses his balance at the same time.
We saw the play. That one was a bit surprising.
Well, no.
It's a slight word from Anderson.
Yeah, the resentment not that strong from him, so maybe he knows what he did. Rousseau galloping down the left side. Oh, slightly misplaced pass there, looking for Javon James. King wants forward movement from his team. Webster keeps the ball in, but doesn't keep Cavalier's possession. Joseph, whose passing ability has impressed us so far in this fixture, does well to retain possession of the ball. A yellow card comes out here for Joseph.
Well,
yeah, he was losing possession of the ball, and
is it the arm?
Yeah,
I wonder if it's a throw of the left arm from the St. Lucian. He's a bit surprised by the card. He flashed it quite aggressively, did referee Perry.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Just caught Allen in the face there. Joseph, an outstanding junior player in the past 5 or 6 years in St. Lucia, gets his opportunity here in the Jamaica Premier League. And on a yellow card, King with a strike from 35 yards out, and that one is skied 2 times the height of a goal.
35 yards out, but maybe 50.
Caution issued to number 27, Lester Joseph.
So Cavalier, we speak of Portmore's solid defense, but Cavalier's defense hasn't been that bad themselves. Only 6 goals conceded in their 9 games with 4 clean sheets. That's a 44% clean sheet in games. And contributing to their joint best goal difference of +13 with Mount Pleasant in the league. Rousseau looking for James. Atkinson, a lot of pace here from Atkinson. Austin comes charging forward and stops the 20-year-old.
Rudolph Austin not happy with the work of his defense line at all. So that was one of the few occasions where he had to get dirty, Austin. Yeah, 2 big challenges on Atkinson. Didn't really want to get in that kind of one-on-one situation. There you see Atkinson getting past Gawain Austin. That was a weak challenge and probably a foul there. Probably actually Gawain. I'm not sure if that was just outside of the area. He might have been lucky to get away with that one, but forced the hand of his uncle.
Yeah. 2 minutes added on for stoppages. Cavalier with a corner kick, looping one across into the net. Ronaldo Webster. Fine strike by Webster. 2nd goal of the season for the former Stetson Manning Cup and Wolmer's Manning Cup player. And Cavalier taking the lead just before the halftime break.
Well, we spoke about how disappointing the corners had been. That one a lot better from Dwayne Atkinson. Good trajectory, beat the first defender. And even though it was towards the near post, that was a strong header by Webster. And yeah, this is a part that he needs to add to his game now, Webster. Last season, just 3 goals. And yeah, just 2 on him, but an important goal here. And you'd have to say somewhat in terms of the chances against the run of play.
Yeah. So scored against Falkland in Cavaliers' 4-0 win back in December. And he's a man now that gives Cavalier the 1-0 advantage over Portmore. And very disappointing here for Portmore, who had played solidly for 46 minutes before giving up that goal.
So much for 5 clean sheets in 6 matches.
Yeah. Joseph for Portmore. Gawain, Austin back to Joseph. Joseph has some room to work with here. Rosso tries to go between the legs of Webster, unsuccessful. Anderson now goes, well, approaches Austin one-on-one, and Austin stops him. So the veteran wins that battle.
Well, a good gamble there by Rudolph Austin. You could see him just watching and saying, well, at some point he had to make a stop because he couldn't get in a race with Anderson. And yeah, timed that right foot well.
Yeah, 37 years old now, Rudolph Austin. And it shows that he's still a top man, as referee Alexi Perry calls the end to the first half. And this man, Ronaldo Webster, with a goal just before the halftime break that puts Cavalier in front by 1-0. Bright sunshine, hot conditions here. And Portmore, after playing very, very well for most of the first half, conceding a goal just before the halftime break. And the goal scored by Webster, assisted by Dwayne Atkinson, 3rd assist of the season for the 20-year-old. So there's the halftime score. Portmore United 0, Cavalier 1. Ronaldo Webster in stoppage time. The difference between these two teams.
You're watching the Jamaica Premier League on your home of champions.
Why do we love football?
Because out there, on that pitch, we're all the same.
Join the growing number of Scene subscribers and keep in touch with everything from the Caribbean, including the ISA Schoolboy Football Season, exclusive from Jamaica. Call your cable operator and ask for Scene TV via Optimum in the Northeast US market and Bell & Rogers in Canada, or come straight to the source at www.scene.tv and pay $4.99 a month. Be at home away from home. Subscribe today.
You're never far from home when you're watching Scene TV. We bring the Caribbean to you. And now it's even easier to stay up to date on all things Caribbean when you subscribe to our YouTube channel. The latest action in sports, the biggest news stories in the region, and all the excitement in the world of entertainment. So join our community today. And don't forget to like, share, comment, and click the notification bell to stay informed. Scene TV, your preferred eye to the Caribbean. Yeah, back at the Stadium East Field here for the start of match week 10 in the Jamaica Premier League. And Portmore are trailing Cavalier by 1-0 at the half-time break. A stoppage time header from Ronaldo Webster, having the Cavalier team in front. Alexi Perry, the man with the whistle. Irving with a left-footed strike on goal early. Cavalier putting the pressure on. But it was a lot of Portmore with their offensive play in the first half. And had good opportunities to score.
And this was one that should have been buried by the new addition, Javon James. As I say, coming in fresh from Waterhouse, but really scuffed the finish. And yet just not keeping his composure. Didn't pick a spot as well. Didn't have a plan.
Yeah.
And that was a missed opportunity.
And Akeem Mullins with a rebound effort. New transfer from Harborview also should have done better with a left-footed effort when it presented itself. But a lot of Portmore pressure in the first half, and the Cavalier defense line kept really busy early here. A flicked shot toward goal there by St. John, the Haitian, and Vino Bartlett had to be pretty alert with a right-handed save there, just tipping it onto the crossbar. One of the moments here for Cavalier. Atkinson going for goal, a deflection from Rudolph Austin, and a Constant in goal with a take. Look at that strike from Emilio Rosso, crashing onto the underside of the crossbar, but that hit just a couple of inches too high. Were it not for that, Portmore would have been leading 1-0 at that point. And here's a corner from Atkinson, the header on goal by Ronaldo Webster, and Atkinson with the assist here, and two of the younger players in this Cavalier team combining for the goal.
Just too much space awarded to Webster in the end. Was an intelligent run by Webster just to come across the defense and redirected well.
Yeah, so Ronaldo Webster, the difference between these two teams at the moment with his stoppage time goal. We had 14 shots attempted on goal by Portmore, 9 of them or 4 of them on target, 8 attempted on goal by Cavalier, only 2 on target. 15 fouls in the match so far, marginally more committed by Cavalier. 1 yellow card in the fixture so far, Joseph from Portmore. 5 corners forced by each team, Portmore and Cavalier. Portmore had a flurry of about 2 or 3 back-to-back midway the half. 4 saves so far by Cavalier's Vino Bartlett, and 1 save by Constant in goal for Portmore, who have had more possession at 53%, but it's Cavalier that's leading by 1-0. The second half to come, we anticipate a lot more action after the break.
Harshness has gone galloping ahead of him, just to the left of centre, and it's in. Oh, Rafa Silva! What a goal! Played in by João Mario. A delightful flick past Chesney. 3-1 Benfica.
In his own way, produce a real clever bit of skill. Look at the room again he's got to initiate this. Far too much room. The ball is unopposed. Look, comes in the box. Danilo doesn't do enough. How about that for a bit of skill and a bit of confidence? Look at that. Brilliant.
In the field, so real solid minutes.
Here's Ivy being guarded by Denny. The up and under bucket is good. Jaden Ivey, ladies and gentlemen, he's special.
Watch Jaden Ivey.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how tough is this?
About an 11.
Way up there. That's the...
Is he going to look for the shot? Or is he going to get the cross in? This is Lee! This is Lee! Get the goal! Absolutely given before. Well, it's Tariq Lee. And he puts it away! 62nd minute. This time, it was not Garcia. It was Tariq Lee who took the penalty and he put it away.
Environment we're in now. That being said, here goes
Lee. This could be his hat trick. It is his hat trick. That's it. Tariq Lee. Brett, that takes him to 13 goals now in the season.
You're never far from home when you're watching Scene TV. We bring the Caribbean to you. And now it's even easier to stay up to date on all things Caribbean when you subscribe to our YouTube channel. The latest action in sports, the biggest news stories in the region, and all the excitement in the world of entertainment. So join our community today. And don't forget to like, share, comment, and click the notification bell to stay informed. Scene TV, your preferred eye to the Caribbean.
What a catch from Kusal Mendes. Everything going for Sri Lanka. And it's skipper Hardik Pandya on his way back.
Didn't seem to be any slowing down in terms of taking stock and building partnerships. On this particular ground, you saw that at the back end, scoring at 15 plus is not too difficult if that's what you need to get. But the risk taking has been very high. The bowling has been of top quality.
He can't stop smiling, Brad.
He was playing just fantastic basketball.
Wow. An ear-to-ear grin on that line, and there it is. Wow. You don't need to contain yourself, young man. You earned every bit of it here tonight. What a victory. What a performance. Donovan Mitchell, in his first season in Cavalier wine and gold, in front of this crowd here in downtown Cleveland, goes for 71 points as the Cavs roar from behind and take out the Bulls by the final of 145, 134 again. And
he's under pressure here, coming around the wicket now, change of angle.
Silk chases it, lofts it, and he's caught by Nisa. Oh no, he's thrown it over the rope. He goes again. I don't think his feet were in the air, were they? If they were, it's a miracle.
Why do we love football?
Because out there, on that pitch, we're all the same.
You're watching the Jamaica Premier League on your home of champions.
The home of champions presenting Jamaica Premier League football on SportsMax Plus on Monday, 5 o'clock, 6 Eastern Caribbean time. Mount Pleasant against Veer United. That's top against bottom. And there is Waterhouse against Tivoli Gardens in the 7:30 fixture, 8:30 Eastern Caribbean time. That's on SportsMax 2. We're at the Stadium East Field getting ready for the second half of Jamaica Premier League action between Cavalier and Portmore. Cavalier leading by 1-0. Ronald Webster with a stoppage time header. And there he is. His second goal of the season. And looking to score more goals here. And Cavalier once again advertising their proliferation of goal scorers and their ability to just have multi-dimensional offense. 7 different scorers already for them from 9 games this season in their title-winning 2021 campaign, shortened to a 10-game regular season. They had 10 different scorers. Last season, 13 scorers. And I remember in the aborted 2019-2020 season, 15 different scorers, Cavalier. So they've fashioned themselves, Chris, as a team that has goals coming from everywhere.
Yeah. As I said, not quite the numbers in terms of squad members who have scored, but certainly in the final third, more fluent than they were last season, especially at this stage last season. And even though when they have been outplayed at times, as I said, because I remember last week as well, Humberland outplaying them in the first half. But yeah, finding a way to come back and win that game, Cavalier. And again, in the first half here, Portmore with the better chances, but Cavalier with the lead. So soaking up the pressure and then making their chances count. And I'm sure that Rudolph Speed will be happy about the man who scored, a man who he wants to get amongst the goals in Webster.
Yeah. Anderson. Yeah, kicked in the hip region there by Emilio Rousseau and has gone down with an injury. And the referee's whistle belatedly calling the play back. A free kick is going to be won here by Cavalier. Pretty high inside the Portmore half of the field. Yeah, there it is. He's going for the ball here, but Rousseau just flicking his left boot out at it and hitting Colin Anderson fairly powerfully on the hip. Atkins is going to strike this free kick here for Cavalier. We're looking to extend their advantage that Ronaldo Webster gave them. Movements in the box there from the Cavalier man. Good searching ball inside. Austin goes up with a header. Oh, the left-footed strike there, pretty disappointing from the 17-year-old. Christopher Ainsworth. Austin with a long kick out. James beaten for the header by Leng. Joseph under pressure there as Webster challenges successfully, takes a throw very quickly. Austin beats Anderson to the ball. Throw to Cavalier close to the halfway line. Anderson still holding on to his left hip, which was jarred by a Emilio Rousseau kick a few minutes ago. Cavalier from deep. Leng. King. King's pass is intercepted here by Mullings. James tries to get close to it, but Leng gets the big clearance upfield. Joseph, challenged from behind by Chanel Thomas. There's a left-footed strike on goal there. That was deflected. It came from Flemings. Ball over the touchline. Throw here won by Portmore. It's going to be taken by Gawain Austin. Yeah, there's Flemings who just chased that one. King with a header. Bartlett in goal for Cavalier. There's Giovanni Ling. Kept busy so far, this Cavalier defense. Portmore offensively, although they haven't scored, have looked reasonably threatening.
Well, they've shown glimpses for sure.
Yeah.
And as I said, a couple clear-cut opportunities that they couldn't convert.
Austin, great assurance there from the 37-year-old.
And also a couple of hits that went onto the crossbar as well. Free kick from Rousseau. And the acrobatic attempt by Saint-Jean.
That one just evading Flemings was going for it. Yeah, didn't quite get there, did he? But again, Portmore searching for a rare goal. They have really not got their scoring engine on this season. Their late December 3-1 win over little-rated Falkland, the only time in their last 20 games, stretching from last season, that they've scored more than once in a match. That Falkland win, the first since March last season when they won 2-0 over Mount Pleasant.
Yeah, sad to see, as you said. And 3 of those goals, as you said, in one game. So just 4 goals in their other 8 games. Well, 8.5 if you include this one.
Yeah.
They really need to do better. But as you said, have created, in fact, they've probably created more opportunities in this game than they have in some other games.
Yes, and more than Cavalier. That's the point we were making as well. Scoring trouble not new to the Portmore team, though. 10th in the regular season last year, largely because they only scored 15 in 22 games. The second lowest scoring team last season as well. Only Vere scored fewer goals than they did. And with a team with as rich a history as Portmore, not a good look for them. But to be fair, they've been rebuilding now for a past couple of seasons, and they've lost quite a few players. And they remember their 2021 campaign, they had a lot of teenagers running out for them in the condensed 10-game regular season. I think they finished 8th that year. So I think it's a team in transition. But if you're a real, genuine Portmore fan and you embrace the fact that they're the most successful team in the Premier League, this current form won't be pleasing for you. Yeah. Constant, a little cheeky there, but competent with the clearance as he comes out of his box.
And they're certainly not going to win the Premier League scoring so few goals. You mentioned does Vere worse than them? Well, Vere have continued in the same length. I think Vere even worse than last season, only scoring, what, 2 goals so far this year? 2 goals in 9 games. That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
So.
Not good enough.
Yeah.
Rousseau being put under some pressure here from the hard-working Webster, whose cross inside is dangerous, and Constant tries to get the ball out, partially gets it, but it's Gawain Austin that does the dirty work and gets the ball away. But close shave there for Portmore again. Ball over the touchline. Yeah, Austin is favoring now his thigh, and he's in a lot of pain as he comes to the sideline. But he prepares to throw, but he does look to be in some pain there. Joseph attempts to kick the ball down toward St. John, who eventually gets the ball. St. John. Sandino St. John under a lot of pressure from Webster, who does good recovery work. What a strike on goal! Oh, that's a fabulous goal! Emilio Rousseau, 3rd goal of the season. And that was a left-footed strike that had pure class written over it.
Well, we spoke about him scoring goals in open play when he was at the schoolboy level. We said we hadn't seen much of that. It was more from the dead ball scenario, but this is what he can do. Talented left foot in the first half, hitting the crossbar with his free kick. This time he takes the upright, but the inside part of it. And yeah, he'll be kissing that post later, getting the right touch into the back of the net. That was a really good strike from a difficult angle for a left footer there as well.
Yeah. To be fair, I don't think Bartlett had much of a chance there, even though the bend was probably coming a little to him before it went away from him. But that had an unstoppable look about it. So the game is now at 1-1. And we have to say Portmore has deserved this equalizing goal. And looking for another. Here's Joseph. St. John, Joseph, St. John, left-footed, and King gets in the way. Corner here won by Portmore.
St. John certainly not shy to go forward, very aggressive in terms of how he attacks the box, and his energy is positive. In fact, I'm sure it was his pass that eventually found its way to Rousseau.
Yeah. Rousseau with a corner kick from the left side. The ball flicked airborne. The whistle from referee Perry. Free kick to Cavalier inside their own box. King goes long. Just a little bit too much pace on it. None of the forwards getting to it. Constant in goal for Portmore with an easy take.
Well, that goal out of nothing for Portmore really had nothing going forward in the second half, and as you said, took a moment of brilliance like that. But yeah, they aren't undefeated this entire season for no reason, Portmore.
Yeah.
They have found a way in every game to remain relevant. And even though we spoke about the fact that they've only scored 4 goals apart from that one game, it's been 3 1-0 victories. There was a 1-1 draw as well, but 3 1-0 victories along the way. So still finding a way to garner 3 points.
Yeah. And remember too, they had gone 225 minutes without scoring a goal because they were, well, not quite, because they did score against Harbourview two Sundays ago, 2 weekends ago, but they were scoreless in their last game against Tivoli. Ball over the touchline. There's Webster, the Cavalier scorer, but now the game is at 1-1. Flemings goes for goal. Easy take from Bartlett in goal. Atkinson under pressure here from Young.
Good work by Young.
Mullings. Flemings goes left-footed, but way over the top.
Still, the energy a little bit better now from Portmore, a little bit more tempo in their play. Yeah, goal can do that. What Cavalier aren't doing are using the wide areas. They're not looking to spread the play, and that's working in Portmore's favor. There's another example, looking to go down the spine, and that works for Rudolph Austin.
Yeah.
And actually, the Portmore team generally very good in the air, especially defensively, so I'm not sure how much joy. And even though Ronaldo Webster did score with his head, they don't score many headed goals, it must be said.
Yeah.
Cavalier.
James. St. John, who assisted on the Portmore goal. Young gets in the way there, just stops the advance. And Portmore breaking up this latest Cavalier attack, approaching the hour mark. 57 minutes in. Webster for Cavalier, Rousseau for Portmore. Wasted ball by Atkinson. St. Jean, the Haitian, his pass is intercepted by Ming. Webster. Ming, overlapping central defender going forward now. The Cavalier captain, look where he's found himself on the right flank, close to the corner flag. Whistle. He has won himself a free kick, and Austin is bewildered by the referee's call.
Yeah, the assistant didn't flag at all, and it was so close to him. And in fact, the players were actually facing him as well, so it would have been an easy call for the second assistant. Referee Perry said foul. Well, I'm a bit surprised at that. Not much in that, it must be said.
He got ball for sure.
Yeah, I don't think that's a foul. I don't think the assistant thought so either, anyhow. Oh, and a card as well. Wow.
Yeah, Rudolph Austin gets a yellow card for that challenge. Yeah, he may have said something to the referee, because I don't think the challenge merited a yellow card, but maybe his dissent triggered the referee's move to his pocket. Anyway, we're going to watch a free kick here now for Cavalier. Way over on the right side.
Sure, it'll be Irving who will take it. Gadale Irving.
Irving is going to strike it. Shanil Thomas is on the far post. Ronaldo Webster is central. Colin Anderson goes into the goal almost. Well, he replaces Thomas on the far post. Two men on the far post now for Cavalier.
Yeah, I was a bit surprised that Ling and King weren't in there.
Irving goes for goal. Austin's header is first up. Austin's header again, winning the second ball. Mullings putting the chase on, but King is getting there before him. Opts not to go for his goalkeeper, King, which he could have, and he's given up a throw.
Yeah. King very quick for a centre-back. And even though his strides look very easy, nobody is gaining yards on him.
Yeah. Very, very solid and impressive central defender for Cavalier. Only 21 years old, but a lot of promise in this young man. Mullings. Austin's cross inside looks threatening. Irving's header is partially getting the danger away, and now King gets more distance on the clearance. In the meantime, the referee's whistle had gone. As we approach the hour mark. The game at a tense stage, with Cavalier going ahead just before the halftime break, and early in the second half, Portmore finding the equalizer from an Emilio Rosso beauty.
Now this kind of range suits Rudolph Austin.
Yeah.
This has enough distance on it. Can bring in his outside of the boot technique, which you do remember him scoring a blinder for Jamaica some years ago.
Here's the strike. Easily taken though by Bartlett. Webster putting the chase on but can't get there. So we're just past the hour mark, and the game is locked in a keen tussle here. As we said, Cavalier trying to repair a rather untidy head-to-head record against this Portmore team. Portmore 52% ball possession at the moment, so at this stage of the game, just past the hour mark, they marginally had ball possession. Sandino St. John. Rousseau goes for goal again. Slight deflection, I think. Was there a deflection? Yes, there was. So Rousseau looking threatening again from the left side, and he'll trot across here to take this corner as Portmore continue to make the Cavalier defense line work.
Well, now showing a lot of what we've wanted to see over the last few years. As I said, now what, 23 years of age or so? 22? 23, yeah. Here's a strike from him just outside the area.
Oh, Austin hitting that one down and almost creating a good scoring chance there for Portmore. Joseph. Mullings. Charged down there by Atkinson, who's doing a lot of work. Oh, here comes Austin now. What a strike. What a brilliant save from Bartlett on the near post. The 37-year-old. 3-time Caribbean Cup winner for Jamaica. Twice MVP, 2010 and 2014. And he shows that he still has some shots to fire.
Nice build-up play by Portmore again. Emilia Rousseau with the assist. Look at that pass. That was lovely over the head of Chanel Thomas. But yeah, the technique from Rudolph Austin.
Yeah.
Not easy, but executed well.
Header on goal. Young was that with the header. Just squeezing wide of the left upright. Yeah, but Portmore look alive, don't they? And Cavalier know that they're in a match. We said head-to-head, despite Cavalier's seeming superior standing in Premier League football at the moment. In 11 of their last meetings, only 2 Cavalier wins. There have been 5 Portmore victories and 4 drawn results. So Cavalier know that whenever they come up against Portmore, whether Portmore are in the top flight or not, at the moment they're 5th in the table, Cavalier are 2nd. They know that Portmore always gives them a tough battle, and this man knows it. He said it pre-match when he spoke to you, Chris.
Yeah. Lots of respect for Portmore, rightfully so, as you said.
Yeah.
They've won the most titles at this level, and even though the last couple of seasons haven't been the best, he thinks it's just probably a matter of time before they get high up on the table again.
Yeah, the last 2 seasons when Cavalier were champions and 3rd, Portmore failed to make the playoffs, finishing
easily
8th and 10th, not even close to a playoff spot. Webster.
Well, currently they're 5th.
Yeah.
And as I said, right within, it's a very close table. Portmore starting the match in 5th on 15 points, but obviously locked at 1-1. If it was to end now, they would move into 4th position with 16.
So in the live table, they're 4th.
Yeah, behind Arnett Gardens, behind Mount Pleasant Cavalier, of course, and Arnett Gardens. Cavalier would join with Mount Pleasant on 20 points, with the same goal difference, actually. So yeah, that would be interesting.
Corner kick to Cavalier. Good corner right across the box, head into the goal. Colin Anderson, make that 9 now on the season, joins Trevante Stewart as leading scorer in the Jamaica Premier League, and having been contained for the most part for 65 minutes, Anderson bursts through with that headed strike, and he has now scored 6 of Cavalier's last 7 goals.
It's amazing the form that Colin Anderson has found himself in. Good corner to the near post. That's not an easy header at all, you know. Both goals from corners. And yeah, that was a lovely header by Colin Anderson. Yes, he's been well marked. He was well marked there again, but he was the first to the ball and playing with a smile on his face. I did say in the last game, Lance, that this man is going to score quite a bit more in the rest of the Premiership.
Yeah.
And that's a good finish. As you said, 6 goals in 3 games. He's on a good run.
For the first time this season, Portmore is conceding more than 1 goal in a game.
Yeah, they have their work cut out against a very fluent Cavalier team. And even if we were to count, even though we were to count the chances, the total chances, Portmore would have had more.
Yeah.
Cavalier would have to say has been more clinical.
Yeah.
Not many created, but 2 scored.
Yeah. So medical attention to the Cavalier goalkeeper Vino Bartlett. At the same time, we are having an unofficial water break because a couple of the Cavalier men have gone to the sidelines to get themselves some. It was Atkinson's corner that was turned in just now by Anderson.
Yeah,
making it,
I think so.
4 assists for the young man. So
2 on the night, 2 on the day.
Yeah.
Did criticize the corners early in the game from both teams, but the second half has produced better deliveries.
Irving goes up for the header, gives up a throw though to this Portmore team, and let's see how Portmore will respond. They have come from behind to draw level already in this match. Now they're being asked to do the same again. The speedy Atkinson goes forward, the outside with the right boot with a pass here, and what a challenge from Rudolph Austin. Stops Anderson with what appears to be a clean tackle, but a tackle that leaves Anderson injured.
He's holding his knee there, Anderson. The left knee. Not a good sign. Well,
it was an aggressive challenge by Austin.
Not sure if his teammates have seen. Well, the ball now finally goes out of play.
Yeah.
Not known for the soft challenge is Rudolph Austin, and well, that's good to see him coming over to check on him. Here's a challenge here. Not much malice in that, but fell hard and did make contact. But I think it's a fall that probably caused problems, because the contact was actually with his right leg and not his left.
Yeah. Strong challenge from Austin, who offers little sympathy to the potent Cavalier striker.
But to give him credit, Rudolph Austin, he ran from the half line when the ball went out of play.
Yes.
From the half line down to Anderson just to check on him. This was the delivery from Atkinson for the first goal. Webster with a finish towards the near post. Better delivery this time from Atkinson. That was at the end of the first half, of course. And then, Rousseau, what a strike that was from a strange angle to use the left foot there, but such a pure strike off the upright. And then another delivery from Atkinson towards the near post again, but got it past the first defender. And Anderson with a brave header had to kind of stoop as well and redirected it to the near post where Constant was.
Yeah. Very potent attackers, this Cavalier combination between Atkinson and Anderson. Anderson 9 goals now on the season, Atkinson with 5, and Atkinson has assisted 4. So in combination, these two are very, very potent. Not being allowed to flourish that much this evening against a pretty solid Portmore defense, but they have done well enough to have Cavalier in front on 70 minutes.
Yeah, just really amazed at this man and how he's developed in just a season and a half, really. 7 goals last season was his best season. He's now better at that, and we're only, well, this is the 10th game, so only 10 games in. Did make a promise to his coach that he was going to score a lot more goals, and well, he's lived up to his word.
Well, he certainly has. Speed speaks proudly of this 23-year-old's transformation. Of course, we spoke of his teenage prowess as a budding sprint star for a school that is known for track and field
at the time
dominance.
Christopher Taylor and company.
Yeah.
All were there.
He was a pretty versatile runner as well. He ran 100, 200. I think he was on a 4x4 team. He went to the Penn Relays as well.
Yeah.
So he was...
It was hard for him to really get in as the main man at the time because of the quality of the team. But yeah, you put him in a lot of other schools, he would have been the prima donna.
I don't think he went faster than about 10.4 or 10.5 for the 100 meters, which is pretty fast. But at Calabar, it maybe isn't top line.
And you're talking schoolboy.
Yeah.
Many countries will be listening and say, wow, we don't even have an adult male who can run 10.4. And you're saying a schoolboy. Yeah.
I think his personal best was about 10.50 or in that range. So, you know, not quite cracking the low 10s, which the real superstars of schoolboy track and field will go. But at the moment, he is in pain as well because that knee injury that he suffered has put him in some trouble, and Atkinson is also down. So the two attacking, the two front men for Cavalier that we spoke so highly of a couple of minutes ago are now struggling with injuries. Anyhow, Cavalier are leading by 2-1 in the 72nd minute. And
I think they're going to make a couple changes as well. But the bench has been quite active for Cavalier.
Yeah, there's that Nick O'Shea Murray looks to be coming on.
Yeah. Also seen Orlando Russell, who would have started the previous game, so he will be a change up front. Not sure if it's Atkinson Yes, it's Atkinson who is actually going to go off, Lance.
Yeah, he's limping, yeah. I remember 2 matches ago, he had a knock and missed the game.
Yes, he was down to start, and then it was actually the same, I think, Russ or Ainsworth who came in for him.
Yes, so I'm not sure if it's the same injury. Desperate header there coming from Ming to prevent another Portmore advance.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for the Cavalier number 10. Anderson seems okay for now, but yet he's still holding the knee. Austin, we're not seeing it on screen now, but Austin has come over to him and said, I'm sorry about that.
Yeah. Okay, here's Emilio Rousseau, who has been a potent force for the Portmore team. The header out. And the change is quickly made with Russell now on for Atkinson. And the ball is over the touchline for a throw to Portmore. So Atkinson now off. Had a personal best and team leading 8 goals last season, Dwayne Atkinson.
And now 5 and 4.
Yeah.
So if you talk about direct goals that he played a part in, he's equal last season. Last season 8 goals, 1 assist.
Yeah.
This season 5 goals, 4 assists. And as we said, we're nowhere near finished.
That's right. Ball stolen here. Austin showing a lot of speed, putting the chase here on Ainsworth, who is 20 years younger than he is. Corner.
But even from when even this season, I mean, based on what I'd seen last season, he's worked at his fitness quite a bit. He looks a lot fitter, a lot more agile, does Rudolph Austin. He's trimmed a bit as well, but he looks a lot more agile and so on. Yeah, he can't keep up with the big pace attack, but his experience.
Before his sojourn overseas, he did win a Premier League title with Portmore. He did in 2008, and I think he may have been a part of their 2004 roster as well. So decades ago almost, he was a double champion with Portmore in the Premier League before his sojourn in England, Denmark and Norway. This is Allen with the corner kick. Atkinson is now off, and there goes Nicoche Murray, who is now gone on, and he replaces Anderson, I think.
Yeah.
Here's a kick to the far post. Too much weight on that kick. Russell puts the chase on and retrieves it over to the far side. Well, the ball is behind now for a goal kick to Portmore, who are trailing 2-1 here with 15 minutes remaining. Nicoche Murray, part of the successful Cavalier team in 2021. Now on. Portmore looking to rebound. Mullings. King gets in there.
So I'm sure what they'll do is ask Chanel Thomas to play higher, who is a regular centre forward for them.
Yeah. Rose goes forward here for Portmore, under a lot of pressure. Rose.
He's not going to keep that in.
Unable to keep the ball in. Good calculated pressure from Kyle Ming, the Cavalier captain, just forcing Rose to spray the ball wide or away from him, so he lost control.
Vina Bartlett down, and the boot is off. Did have some issues in the last game and the one before. Vina Bartlett with, I'm not sure if it's the sole or the ankle or maybe the instep, but he's had his fair shares of issues. Didn't start the season between the sticks.
Yeah. The SportsMax moment. SportsMax app moment coming up. And no surprise, this is it. Joseph sets the ball back here for Rousseau, who rifles the left-footed strike, curling away from Vina Bartlett. 3rd goal of the season. That's Sandino St. John with the assist. And what a strike there by Emilio Rousseau. 3rd goal of the season, a team-leading 3rd goal for this Portmore team. And the 23-year-old understandably thrilled at that strike. One of his best goals in the Premier League for sure. Wearing the captain's armband today, not for the first time. And his strike keeps Portmore in the game, although they're trailing by 2 goals to 1. It was a game equalizing goal early in the second half, but Cavalier went ahead. Javon James, first outing from Waterhouse, for Portmore exits the game. And Jaheim Fraser replaces him in the 21 shirt. Portmore making another change as well. Howard Okilo now on for Gawain Austin. Yeah, I did see Austin favoring his right leg some minutes ago, probably 10 minutes ago.
Yeah. Top part of the thigh was actually a challenge that he was involved in,
but he's still there, isn't he? Austin is still
on the park.
Yeah, Austin is still on the field, so we'll adjust that substitute information in a short while. But I did see him laboring with a thigh problem in the quad region some minutes ago. There's King. It's Mullings that he has replaced. Yeah, Okilo Howard has replaced Akeem Mullings.
So the two new players.
The two January transfer men into the Portmore setup. Mullings and James are now off. Mullings coming from Harbourview, and James from Waterhouse. Yeah, there's a whistle here.
Well, looked like he took it out of play. Did Vina Bartlett? That's what the assistant is saying.
Yeah, that's careless. Assistant referee Jacid Carr Wilson. Well, here's Portmore with a corner kick. Initially, the substitute Fraser was going to take it, but he's left it for the man of the moment.
And if a goal arises from this,
header toward goal, but high. It was Stevie Young there climbing for the header.
Without speed would have been livid because it was careless, and that is what Richard King is saying to Vina Bartlett as well. Look, let's keep focused here.
Yeah, there's a view that the ball had actually gone out.
So it was a late call then.
Yeah.
Or maybe Perry didn't see Carr's signal.
Yeah. Foul. Young. Fouled. Is an offside call. Offside call. There he was challenged late there as well by Russell. Approaching 80 minutes, and Cavalier holding on to the 2-1 advantage they've got. Coming up, a big clash between Arnett Gardens and Dunbeholden. Austin, long diagonal ball over to the left channel. Thomas.
Yeah, Thomas struggling. I think Thomas is going out with cramp. We spoke about the fact that we didn't think he was match fit.
Yeah.
Shaniel Thomas. He hasn't played much football. And yeah, I think he's going to have to come off here.
Rosso. Austin. Good work by Austin. Leng putting a lot of pressure on here. Portmore unable to advance. Fraser now gets some clear room, drives toward goal, but the diving header there from Kyle Ming sends the ball over the touchline for a throw. Taken quickly. Right across the box, and I think Nick Murray got a right boot to that, but the whistle had gone before either way. In the final 10 minutes now, Nick Murray, young but pretty experienced in this Cavalier lineup. King to Leng. Yeah, King's left-footed pass, aiming for Thomas, but Young gets in the way. Free kick awarded to Portmore. Allen. Trying to squeeze the ball forward there for Russell, not quite finding him.
Yeah,
Murray.
it wasn't a bad idea though.
Yeah. The speed with which he did that was impressive. Webster. Russell. Constant has not had an awful lot to do in the Portmore goal.
Yeah, but second half he's been pretty quiet. I mean, yeah, he did concede, but he didn't have a say, really.
Rousseau. Joseph. Cavalier playing with a lot of energy. They want to protect the advantage they have. Austin. Murray gets in the way. Has had a lot of defensive touches on the ball, Nicoche Murray, since he came on a few minutes ago, which I guess is an indication that Portmore's offense is working. Or working hard. Has he won a corner here? No, he hasn't. Referee Alexi Perry says it's a goal kick to Cavalier.
Yeah, good work again. Yeah. Very difficult to break down this Cavalier defense. Portmore, I think, doing the right thing, looking to run at them hard. I do find that the teams that have success against Cavalier are the ones that actually have a high tempo attack, not the teams that look to attack them with this methodical movement of the ball. They do well with that.
Yeah.
I think when you attack them with pace, sometimes there's a bit of confusion between King and especially Lane. And we have even seen that resulting in a few own goals against Cavalier as well.
Yeah. On a 4-game unbeaten run, this Cavalier team, trying to stretch it to 5, and they're 6 minutes plus stoppage time away from that. Rousseau with a free kick from distance. 5 or 6 Portmore men across the 18-yard box looking for scoring opportunities. Is that Fraser retrieving over on the left side? Fresh from schoolboy success, Manning Cup for Jamaica College.
Yeah, JC picking up their 31st Manning Cup title, and Fraser, a big part of that team, playing in the wide areas as he is doing today. Deployed mostly on the right-hand side of the JC attack.
On the opposing team, and Shanil Thomas, Jamaica College man that was a part of a championship-winning team as well.
Back in
some years ago.
18 was it?
I think 2018, yeah.
Not 2018, that was Casey's year, so it was 2017, either 2017 or 2019.
Yeah. Austin goes forward, that's Gawain Austin. Joseph. Good pass. Fleming's left-footed cross. Yeah, that was an opportunity there, but the effort from Jaheim Fraser, I think he was a little intimidated by the surging airborne move and just sort of put his body sideways there. Yeah, he was thrown off by Webster. And maybe the sun as well, because based on where the sun is, I guess the trajectory of the ball would create some problems there for the youngster. But Portmore are really desperate for an equalizer here, less than 4 minutes plus stoppage time remaining. And Shanil Thomas is down injured here for Cavalier. The stretcher coming on for him.
Yeah, Jaheim Fraser, by the way, did score a beauty in the Manning Cup final, it was, against St Andrew Technical. Cutting from that left-hand side and let fly with the right boot into the far corner. And it was actually his goal. It was the only goal for JC in that match. It went to penalties, of course. So
yeah. Just a couple of minutes to the end, and Cavalier getting ready to make another change here.
Just to note, the other scorer was actually his teammate here at Portmore in Satchwell.
Yeah.
Who's on the bench.
That's right. Roger Arthurs is the man that's coming on for Shanil Thomas. The man of the match discussion here, I think, would be pretty tight. Portmore have had some outstanding individual performance, but they're trailing in the game here, so their chances of producing the man of the match would be hindered by that.
Rousseau a big contender. I think Young has been very good.
Yeah.
We know about Rudolph Austin as well. But
the Cavalier men, though.
Cavalier perspective.
Goal scorer Anderson. Webster, solid game. Atkinson with 2 assists.
2 assists, yeah.
Oh, where do you go with that one? Yeah, Webster has had a solid game outside of his game-leading goal that he scored at the end of the first half. Yeah. Has played reasonably well outside of that.
Reasonably. I still think apart from Atkinson's 2 deliveries from the corners, he has been underwhelming in this game. You haven't seen much of him.
Yeah, Anderson is coming off 2 consecutive MVP honours against Tivoli and Humberland, having scored 5 goals in those 2 games.
Yeah, that's Atkinson on the bench, but I don't think play Atkinson really.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Atkinson, in spite of his goal, is a strong candidate for the man of the match.
You mean with his 2 assists, Atkinson?
Anderson. I meant Anderson. He's playing. He scored and had a decent game.
Yeah,
but I wouldn't fancy him for his 3rd consecutive MVP honor.
No,
I prefer Atkinson actually. But Webster's a strong candidate as well, because apart from his goal,
play with Atkinson. I mean,
you didn't like his game today?
I think his 2 deliveries from the corners certainly very good, but in the rest of the play, he wasn't really involved that much, I think, Atkinson. In fact, we were looking for more from him.
Yes.
But it's been that kind of game, as you said. It's been a game that Portmore have really had
to be honest with you, on the weight of individual performances, I would think Portmore has better candidates, including Rousseau. But they are losing. Webster may ace
King has been easy too. King has been good at the back.
He's always good at the back.
Good at the back, yeah. Play has been easy. But yeah, Webster with a good goal. But again, apart from that, you ask yourself, how involved has Webster been?
That was Austin just missing that one. He arrived a trifle late and he punches the turf with his fists because he knows that he was just inches too late on this Rousseau cross. Yeah, there he was, the 37-year-old. As I said, he hasn't scored a Premier League goal in about 14 or 15 years. The expectation is for 5 minutes of time to be added, so there is more time left in the game, and maybe another Emilio Rousseau strike to clinch the man of the match honor. Because he has really played well. Apart from his assists and the goal he scored, he hit the crossbar as well with a free kick.
Provided a beautiful opportunity for Rudolph Austin.
Yeah. That's Gawain Austin. Gets the return pass. Wow.
I guess he would make our life easy, Lance, if he was to find it. Rousseau, that is.
Young under some pressure. Yeah, tumbles over from the Russell challenge. Free kick won here by Portmore.
Young has been another man.
He's always solid. Steve Young, always solid. Has already had 2 man of the match awards.
Yeah.
Young.
Well, Rudolph Austin has switched positions. He's come out of the back line totally. He's now playing as a centre forward.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Maybe trying to out-muscle some of the defenders.
Okelo doing some work on the right side there, but tumbles over. Here comes Austin again, who has been pretty solid at right full back position for Portmore today. And Austin is up front hunting goals. Or give him the short time left in the game, hunting a goal.
3 weeks ago, there were 3 undefeated teams in the Premiership. Harbourview then lost. Last week, Mount Pleasant lost. And now, the 1 undefeated team left, Portmore, are a couple of minutes away
from losing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So everyone would have tasted defeat if the scoreline stands.
Yeah. What a strike on goal that was. Right-footed from Lester Joseph, the St. Lucian. And that one just squeezed wide of the left upright. But Cavalier now trying to manage the game, manage the time, and secure themselves a victory and stretch their unbeaten run to 5 games, which would of course include 4 victories. Whistle.
So, as it stands now, Lance, you're leaning more to Atkinson with his two assists.
I took your point about his assists being important, but his overall play not being that solid.
But then again, you look around and you could say that about everybody else probably on the field for Cavalier, that there have been moments then, but not consistent. Because even Webster, he had that moment where he scored, but apart from that, there hasn't been much from him. As I said, apart from the Colin Anderson goal, he's made intelligent runs and so on, but there hasn't been much.
I think Webster, as I said earlier, his game has been good enough, and the fact that it was his headed goal that gave Cavalier control of the game, he may ace it for me, because I accept that Atkinson, while his 2 assists were valuable and his contribution to the game important, his overall play may not have been
the best.
Yeah, the best. So let's go Webster.
Yeah,
but tight going.
Webster needs motivation, and that headed goal, as you said, that headed goal was good, but that certainly changed the tide a bit, and that set the tone at the end of the first half.
Yeah. Yeah. So Philip Williams on the verge of his first loss this season with this Portmore team, and because of their unimpressive scoring rate and their pretty tame goal difference, they're in danger here with a defeat of dropping out of the top 6 playoff spot with other games to come this evening.
Yeah, currently at 15 points. Humble Lion sitting right under him with 14.
Yeah, there's Waterhouse
with 13.
Yeah, so and their Monday games as well. So,
well, in fact, even Double Holding and Mobay United have 12. Double Holding will play shortly.
Yeah. Here comes Cavalier on the advance. Rousseau putting pressure on. Yeah. Austin with a big clearance there, leaving his right fullback position, going to challenge for the ball on the left side. So he is another Portmore player that has been a standout today. Unfortunately for him, on the verge of all that being in a losing effort. Seconds to the final whistle, and Cavalier on the verge of a victory here over Portmore United. Good skill by Fraser. That's Okelo, in fact. Yeah, that's now a foul on Fraser by King. Just probably the last play of the match. Portmore with an opportunity here, and I think because of where the ball is, this could be a Rudolph Austin strike as opposed to Rousseau. Although Rousseau scored from here in open play.
It's a little further.
Yeah, but this is Austin.
Yeah, this is Austin.
Can the big man deliver something special here for Portmore?
His captain, Rousseau, is coming to join him. Maybe he fancies it as well.
I would give Austin this strike. But then Rousseau's confidence level is so high at the moment. Austin strikes it disappointingly into the wall. And that's the end of the game. That's the end of the game. Cavalier coming up with a 2-1 victory here, and stretching their unbeaten run to 5 games. And a very, very hard-working effort here from this Cavalier team, and delivering a victory for their technical director, Rudolph Speed. Emilio Rousseau, the Portmore captain on the afternoon, very disappointed here after a solid game and an outstanding goal. But Portmore suffer their first loss of the season, and Cavalier get only their 3rd win over Portmore in their last 12 meetings. And very, very satisfying here for coach Rudolph Speed. There's the Haitian, Sandino St. John, and some water there for the winning coach Rudolph Speed. Webster and Anderson with the strikes, giving Cavalier the 2-1 victory over Portmore United. Number 2 Cavalier against number 5 Portmore. Irving with a free kick left-footed early. Wide of the target, Constant in goal for Portmore going for it. Some problems here, and Javon James, first game here for Portmore, misses a great opportunity to score. The rebound comes to Akeem Mullings, who also fluffs his lines and delivers a disappointing left-footed strike on goal. Cavaliers defenders having to work really hard early. Rousseau with a cross inside. And a bit of a scramble there for the Cavalier defenders. Wow, that was a fine effort there by St. John, left-footed. Just flicking that one on goal, and what a save by Vino Bartlett in goal for the Cavalier team. Comes Dwayne Atkinson, who provided 2 assists in the game. His shot deflected by Rudolph Austin, and Constant with a taken goal. Rousseau crashes this one onto the crossbar. Disappointment there for Portmore. All this in the first half. And Cavaliers defenders working overtime. Rousseau denied there by the crossbar. And here's the Cavalier go-ahead goal. Ronaldo Webster with a fine-headed goal. His 3rd of the season. And Dwayne Atkinson with the assist. Perfectly placed corner. And Webster making no mistake. Constant having very, very little chance there at point-blank range. Webster happy with a strike. Here comes the Portmore equalizer. St. John just sets the ball back here now for Rousseau, who delivers a top draw left-footed strike. 2nd time hitting the woodwork here in the match, Rousseau, but this time it's hitting and going in. What a goal by Emilio Rousseau. 3rd of the season, team leader in scoring for Portmore as a left fullback. Austin on the chest, and then the outstanding right-footed strike there that is saved on the near post by Vino Bartlett, who did well there on the near post. And Rudolph Austin at 37 years old goes close to scoring his first Premier League goal in about 14 years. And here's Cavaliers' go-ahead goal from Anderson, again from the corner, taken by Atkinson, his 2nd assist of the game. And Anderson with a headed goal, his 9th of the season. Joint leading score with Trevante Stewart. Austin arrives just a fraction late here from this Rousseau delivery. And this late in the game, an opportunity for Portmore to draw level. But that's how it ended. Portmore suffering their first loss of the season. Cavaliers stretching their unbeaten run to 5 games. 20 shots attempted on goal by Portmore, 6 of them on target. 11 shots attempted on goal by Cavalier, 3 on target. There were 27 fouls in the match, marginally more for Cavalier. A couple of yellow cards in the fixture here for Portmore. 8 corners forced by Cavalier, 9 corners forced by Portmore. Cavaliers goalkeeper Bartlett pulling off 5 saves in the match. Constant for Portmore, just 1. Cavalier more dominant in ball possession at 55%. So Cavalier win by 2 goals to 1. And Ronald Webster, our man of the match, about to talk to Chris Taylor.
Ronaldo, it hasn't been the most fluent season for you so far. How important is this, your 2nd goal of the season?
Well, it is very important because we needed this win to go to top the table. Coach been telling us like the opposition team need to catch up us. So it was a very important goal to top the table.
Just talk to me through the goal as well, because you started your run from the right side of the 18-yard box and then came across the defense. Was that a plan of yours?
Yeah, it's a regular thing. That's where I score my most headers. Like take the defender eyes off me and just execute it well.
It was a rough season for you last year as well. You only scored 3 goals. What is one of the things that keeps you motivated to perform well for this Cavalier team, and what kind of goals have you set for this season?
Yeah, well, the team keep me motivated because, you know, as you said, I didn't have a wonderful season last year. So I'm willing to racking up the goals because I'm playing from wide now. So it's going to be more easier because defenders not going to see me coming in. So it's going to be more easier for me.
All right, Ronaldo, you double your tally for this season. Congratulations on the goal and congrats on the win as well.
Thank you very much.
All the best. Yeah. Ronaldo Webster there, man of the match from Cavalier. former Stets and Wolmer's standout. Philip Williams now joins me, head coach of Portmore. Well, Philip, the unbeaten run is over. On a positive note, you probably created more chances in the game, but yet you couldn't get the scoreline your way.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, the goals that we gave up today were rather soft and to our standard, and I think we could have done much better on those. But as you said, we saw a lot of positive in terms of our play and our movements in the final third, and that is something that we have been working on.
And considering you had to make so many changes, your squad hampered by injury, you would still be impressed by the players who have come in and how they have contributed.
Definitely so. It's an opportunity for them to show us their worth, and they did so today.
When you look at your squad right now and the injuries, is it a case where you're looking to do business in the transfer market as well to bolster the team?
Definitely so. We have seized the opportunity granted to us by the transfer window, and we have taken in some really solid players with experience, and hopefully they will add quality and to our cause in terms of us and our mission of making it in the top 6.
Okay, Philip, hard loss today, but we look forward to seeing how Portmore and yourself will bounce back.
All right then.
Philip Williams there, head coach of Portmore, on the losing end of the stick for the first time this season. Rudolph Speed now comes into picture. Well, Rudolph, you've done it again. This is the third team in a row. You've had a losing head-to-head record against them coming into it, but a tough performance and a good one for Cavalier.
Yeah, laugh averages. I don't know if it's anything we're doing good, but it was important that we won today, just to even get the lead for a little time. I mean, I know Mount Pleasant can still get back the league, but it was important for us to win today.
And Colin Anderson, well, he's promised you goals and he's certainly racking them up. Didn't have the best game, but still found a way to find the back of the net.
And that's the mark of a really good striker. We're just pleased. And somehow we just getting the results, because I think even if we don't have a good game, we know to play in the moments, and it helps us a lot.
3 points for you here. Up to now, well, Mount Pleasant still a game to play, but you're on top of the table. How does that feel?
Very good. So I'll just enjoy it until tomorrow. And I hope, I'm not against any team. I just hope neither Mount Pleasant or Veer win the match, so we'll stay on top.
Enjoy your time at the top, Rudolph. We look forward to seeing you next week as well.
Thank you. Bye.
Yeah, so Rudolph Speed there, technical director of the Cavalier team, satisfied with his 2-1 victory over Portmore United. Ronaldo Webster and Colin Anderson, the strike men for Cavalier, giving them the victory. Emilio Rousseau on target for the Portmore United team. Cavalier, leaders now of the Premier League, climbing to 22 points, 2 ahead of Mount Pleasant, who play Veer on Monday. So from the Stadium East curtain raiser of a doubleheader, Philip Williams beaten, and Portmore for the first time this season, Cavalier stretching their unbeaten run to 5 games. It's Cavalier 2, Portmore 1.